To your mother, it's time for another episode of Birds with Friends. Just a trio of feathery brethren weathering any season to see the Eagles eat teams like Scrammy's top with cheese. It's Philadelphia. Bo, Sheil, and Zach kicking it cooler than 3 penguins till Zach runs off with his valet keys. He's a real nuanced goose. Pull up a branch, get loose. It's time for some juice on some Birds with Friends. The early bird gets the worm, but prefers getting turned like a turn on some Birds with Friends. Bo, Sheil, and Zach coming at you with sets and things.
We are going to rip out the hearts of other podcasts. We are going to bite off their eyeballs. We're going to start every segment watching the scene from The Last of the Mohicans where the guy takes a bite out of the other guy's heart. We may not be good, but we're going to be nasty. We're going to reflect the blue-collar nature of this city. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Birds with Friends on a Thursday afternoon, our preview of Sunday's season opener against the Atlanta Falcons. Bo Wulf, Zach Berman, Sheil Kapadia, Marissa Morris here live on YouTube. Again, we will be doing a set schedule this year. Tuesday nights at 8, Thursday afternoons at 3:30 if you want to join on YouTube. Otherwise, we'll just be in your normal podcast feed. Zach, where did Jason Spriggs go to college?
Arkansas, correct?
Oh, Indiana. You got the right color scheme.
Indiana. Sorry.
You got the right color scheme.
That is bad.
Ooh, tough start.
I could see it in my head. I'm sorry about that.
People have been saying we need to get back to the random quizzes.
All right,
fire
another one.
End the show.
Okay, how about Tajay Sharp?
Tajay Sharp went to UMass.
That's correct. So we've got a lot to get to. We will do our news roundup, Bird on the Street. We'll do a little Toucan U on the Falcons roster. We will go to our national man, Sheil Kapadia, for Crow Thine Enemy. We will have our swooper sorecasting. So if you are in the chat live on YouTube, drop in your swooper sorecasting suggestions. We've got the dynamic, much anticipated return of Marissa's enormous mug. And then we'll close with Crystal Bald Eagle. Sheil, everybody wants to know, how you doing?
Well, I had an interesting day. You know, the Athletic, our company does something every month, which is great. Every company should really do this. They take nominations and you nominate your colleagues for work that you think, really stood out. And then there's sort of a group of editorial leadership who they go through all the things. And then each month they do this little
I think it might be more rare. Like it's an even wider period which they're, so to be recognized is even
This was only the third one we've done.
I mean, you should know I really don't pay attention to much. So I'm just trying to stay on brand here. But all right, every once in a while, sorry, Bo, they
quarter.
recognize people in the company. They do a little Zoom and they say, all right, this person did this person did this. Usually there's some outstanding work at the company, some investigative pieces, some tremendous features. We talked about that Dallas Mavericks piece, right, a few months ago where they're telling you everything that's going to happen before it's going to happen. And so, we get a little message from Marissa Morris this morning. She said, hey, make sure you're on the, I was told to let you know to make sure you're on the salute. And it was all three of us. I thought maybe it was something, I did great in my national reporter role and they're going to recognize me. But no, it's all three of us and now we're Birds with Friends channel. So I said, oh, okay. Birds with Friends is getting some recognition. Then they
deserved.
Yeah, well, that would be well deserved, I think. We've done a good job to gas ourselves up. And so then we, it starts and it gets to, I believe it was the second slide. And it says Birds with Friends and Matt Hevia, part of the podcast leadership. It says we are saluting, Sheil Kapadia, Bo Wulf, Zach Berman, I don't know, Marissa Morris, and Birds with Friends for their work on the Osprey Awards.
The second, fourth annual Osprey.
Yes, he did actually say that. The second, fourth annual Osprey Awards. He's very nice. He said they do a great job. They entertain, they inform. If you haven't watched this, they went outside the company for some presenters such as Ben DiNucci and what was the wrestler's name? Who was the wrestler?
Tito Santana.
And
Brad Fiorenza.
Forenza from the challenge. And so, they do a great job with the podcast, and they've got a great audience, and just wanted to bring that to attention. All right. Okay. That's fine. Then they move on. Next person recognized for breaking a Syracuse scandal, abuse, getting a coach fired. Next thing recognized, I forget the author, forgive me, for a great piece on pointing out the mistreatment of women at, I believe, football/soccer games in the UK. I mean, legit journalism with a capital J. And so I watched this thing, and I'm going, I've worked here for now, I'm entering what I started 2017, starting year 5 here. Never been recognized in a company-wide meeting for anything, which is fine. As you know, I'm all about CTC. I don't need awards, anything. Just, make sure when we're checking the bank account that the checks are clearing. I don't need any of that stuff. Where I'm going, the first time my name is mentioned, recognized here, is part of Bo's freaking 2nd, 4th annual Osprey Awards. Unbelievable. As I've told people since then, I am going to spend part of my evening reevaluating some of my life choices, what I'm doing with my career with the show. And, as my wife pointed out, I believe she said, this is going to be the greatest day of Bo's life, which, may or may not be true. So I guess I should say, Bo, Marissa, congratulations to you too. Zach and I were sort of along for the ride for that show, recognized company-wide. I have no idea what our colleagues must be thinking as they watch that and then see, some of the great work that's being done. But, I was under the impression no one at the company was paying any attention to this podcast. So maybe Marissa sent it along or something. I don't know why anyone would tune into this podcast or to watch the Ospreys, but I guess somebody was. And so, Bo, you can take a whiff, and you guys can gas yourselves up a little bit.
Well, I think everybody knows that Marissa deserves a lot of the credit for the Ospreys, but I think it was more of an award for, I believe, what Matt Heavy referred to as something like the gold standard for team specific podcasts. Maybe the best he's ever heard, he said. So let's just gas up Marissa. She can get the salute.
What do you think?
It was
Brad
all
from
your
the real
creative
world,
genius. It was all your creative genius.
What do you think if Brad from the real world has a friend working at the, maybe somebody he knew from high school or something, and the person's like, hey man, you got mentioned in this, did you participate in some Eagles podcast? No, not that I don't remember. I mean, yeah, I don't know. If someone can get Brad to comment on this, that would be good. Benny Danucci. Okay.
And a good comment that my in-laws and their bad Wi-Fi deserve a portion of the credit, which is no doubt true.
I am all for Marissa getting the credit she deserves, and Bo's creativity was outstanding that night. But I concur with what Sheil said, right? Like we produced I think a lot of good work for this company. Sheil did the playbook, which is outstanding. And I keep
not
thinking
even
back,
on anybody's radar. To be honest,
I keep thinking back to in 2019 when I was getting hired for this job, and we have a lot of discussions, and the podcast was not, I've said this on the pod before, it was not like a prominent part of those discussions. And then here I am, and I'm preparing for our trip to Atlanta, and I'm like, yeah, we'll probably be finished the podcast at 1 a.m. Right, so I need to account for that. I need to pack the microphone. So I didn't quite realize how big this podcast was, but I suppose we need to start paying attention because people in the company seem to be paying attention now.
Well, it was funny. I was the meeting was going on during the Eagles press conferences, and so I had one earbud in, on my outside ear, listening to it as I think it was.
You're like
maybe Steven Nelson was talking, so It was kind of funny. What was your read on the situation, Marissa? Are you most importantly, are we going to get can we get a new title, a raise for some kind of bump here for our star producer?
I don't know. You already have a crown, so I don't know if we're gonna get a trophy or something. But I will reiterate what Matt said, that this show was recognized because it's a great mix of fun, entertainment, and great Eagles news. So you guys do an excellent job, and I know the listeners agree. And it's always a joy to listen and work with you. So,
and which is, of course, your way of saying that this is your favorite of all the podcasts you produce, which goes unsaid. You don't. It goes without saying. All right, let's get to the news. Zach, bird on the street. Why don't we send it over to the Stone Cold Newsman, Zach Berman.
Brandon Brooks has been limited this week with a knee injury. Does not seem to be something that is serious based on what Lane Johnson was expressing, but certainly something worth monitoring considering it's Lane Johnson. Considering it's Brandon Brooks. Also limited has been Rodney McLeod, Landon Dickerson, and is it Davion Taylor? Is that the fourth one? Obviously, Rodney McLeod is the big injury to monitor here. If he's not out there, the Eagles will be turning to probably Marcus Epps or Kayvon Wallace. I assume Marcus Epps, but certainly that is the key injury. I would not expect Landon Dickerson to be back yet for week one, although we will see. And then Davion Taylor, that will still take some time a bit as well, I imagine.
That's it? No other news going on?
They made a practice squad transaction.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't need the thank you, Zach.
Fine.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm talking about the guys we talked to. We talked to the coordinators today.
Listen,
you dropped a banger on Jonathan Gannon, which everybody should read. All right.
I do hope you read that story. And I'm proud of the work that went into it. But we have a lot to discuss.
You will not find better insight into the man who I think could be one of the stars of this Eagles season than that story from Zach.
I can't wait to read that. I'm looking forward to it this evening. Yes.
Very good stuff. So I guess just in terms of like big picture heading into this game, Zach, are there any, aside from safety, are there any other like starting lineup shenanigans or questions that we are curious about?
I'm curious to see what the playing time distribution is at the end of the game at defensive end and tight end. Right? Like I want to see, is it going to be more Josh Sweat or more Derek Barnett? Is it going to be more Dallas Goedert or more Zach Ertz? And how much more if it is more Goddard? How much more if it is Barnett or Sweat? So certainly paying attention to that. But I think the key here is, what do they look like? Because the Eagles have been purposefully clandestine in what they've been willing to show. And I do think what you see out there on Sunday is certainly going to be noticeably different than the preseason, but I think there are going to be even more wrinkles and variations than what we even saw in practice when we were allowed out there. So there's probably more intrigue. It's probably week one of all of the new coaches. Obviously, 2016, that was Carson Wentz's debut, so there was a lot of intrigue there. And then we all remember 2013 when the country was watching Chip Kelly's debut. So curious to see what this looks like.
Have we talked about Derek Barnett for more than 30 seconds on the show for the entire summer?
It's always been in just in reference as Zach gasses up Josh Sweat.
Yeah, I mean, is Barnett's healthy, ready to go? We just don't know who's going to be on the field for the first snap.
Well, he missed a lot of time over the end of camp, but now he's healthy. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. It's just, you go through an entire summer and you feel like you've discussed way too much about every player on the roster and every angle. And I just, Derek Barnett's sort of been a forgotten man. I mean, would it surprise you if Derek Barnett had, a 10-sack season and was better than Josh Sweat this year?
It would surprise me if he had a 10-sack season.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't shock me. It
wouldn't shock me.
He's 25 years old. Yeah, he's entering a contract year. I don't know. And
he's a good player. He's legitimately a good football player.
I think
quality starter.
I would expect that playing time distribution is going to be close to 50-50.
Do you think they charting that?
Maybe. I haven't decided what I'm going to chart.
You love a chart.
I'm going to chart something. I got a big spreadsheet
before 1 o'clock start. He's telling me all his prep work. I figure you'll do a little tight end charting, maybe a little person.
No, I'll probably I don't know. I'm not as interested in the split of tight ends.
You like a personnel grouping charting.
I'll be charting all the personnel.
We got a new offensive coach here.
Oh, that's what I'm definitely going to be charting.
Well, why not just put a little column for the tight end in there? Then
I'll probably have it.
The game ends. You say, bam, here are the snaps for these guys. All of a sudden, every fantasy site known to man is retweeting you, quote tweeting you, giving you credit.
Sure.
No, see, you're not excited.
You want to talk about preparation? Bo's week 1 last year was on point. Before the game, he rolls
You guys
up.
stop just gassing me up about
Yeah.
random things. That
Oh,
aren't
trust
that,
me.
yeah,
We'll gas you up for unimportant things and we'll rip you for
Nah,
everything else. That's pretty much
spoke
my
to-
philosophy.
He pulls up to a seat right before kickoff. Just got off the phone with Jack Driscoll's family. Right, Jack Driscoll was making the surprise start that day. Lane Johnson's ankle swelled up on the ride down there, and then and you got to. This was obviously pre-vaccine, right? He eyes a spot down in the stands where the photographers are. He says, "I'm going down there." And
it's mostly because I didn't want to be in the press box.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
That
That's
was
nervous.
related.
Yeah.
yeah,
it
that was that was implied when I
Yeah.
said this was pre-vaccine, right? Like
Yeah. I was double masked and did not feel comfortable in there.
So that was your week 1 last year for week
Yeah.
1
All right.
memories.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm not gassing him up.
I'm a little bit curious, just in terms of like seeing what this team looks like. I'm definitely curious to see, the use of that Sam linebacker position. How much are we going to see it? Like, is Gennard ever going to play 35% of the snaps? My guess is no. My guess is we're going to see mostly nickel. But I'm curious.
Super
about that.
scorecasting has to do with Sam linebacker. So make sure you that's a little tease. Pay attention to that.
Listen, if you're a sicko who's here for a live 3:30 Thursday, you're in for the whole thing. I mean, you're not saying, all right, if it's good, I'll stick with it. Let's see where they're at the 30-minute mark.
Wait a second. Is there going to be a super scorecasting about the Sam linebacker position?
Yeah, I think. Here's what I'm actually really interested in, and I was just thinking about this flex on my WIP hit just now with John Marks
Looking like a P hit.
and Ike Reese. Like, we have no idea about Sirianni from like a game management perspective. Like, they could waste all their timeouts in the first 8 minutes.
Right.
They could have no idea what they're doing on the 2-minute drill, just complete disaster. Or it could be like the third quarter and they're down by 2 touchdowns, and all of a sudden, bam, they came out with this great adjustment, and you're saying, whoa, after the game, he's talking about what they did at halftime. Like, that's the excitement with a new coach. It could go either way, but like, I think we're all interested in those things. With Peterson, you kind of knew what you were going to get by, of course, probably by year 2, but certainly by year 3. Even if he was more conservative last year, you saw, they didn't really have a lot of issues with that kind of stuff, right? With wasting timeouts, with screwing up a 2-minute drill. I mean, a lot of their things that we ripped them for were kind of on the fence, like, hey, be aggressive, go for it there type thing. But like, you sit down and watch games around the league. I mean, coaches screw this stuff up all the time. And so I am interested in that. Like, Sirianni has never come close to doing this before. And let's see how prepared he is, who he's leaning on, and what he does just in terms of in-game management.
And Gannon has not done it before. And Michael Clay has not done it before. So, yeah, there's a lot of like, let's sort of sink or swim right away with these guys. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's so different than the Falcons. The Falcons made a coaching change, but it's like we've seen Arthur Smith call plays for the last 2 years. Dean Pease is in his 70s. Like, I think we know what.
Dean Pease on whoever he needs to.
Yeah, and so now it's totally a different situation for the Eagles.
And Matt Ryan, we've seen him quite a bit as well. So
Penn
That's
Charter,
true.
Exton Mall,
so have you.
Bulkies.
And then just quickly
I've been saying Matt Ryan for 2 decades now. So
that's right. Just quickly on the McLeod thing, because we didn't talk about this. It happened yesterday. I just asked Darius Slay during the press conference, like, how does Rodney look? Like, very open-ended. And he just was, he it seemed like he sort of spilled the beans. He was like, oh yeah, my teammate? Oh, he looks good. But, those NFL rules, like I guess he can't play this week. So we were like, first of all, what are you talking about? Because he's off PUP, so he can play. Does that mean that he has COVID and he's on the COVID list and he can't play? But McLeod was at practice, so that was not the case. It was then clarified to us by the Eagles afterwards that he did mean the PUP list. But certainly by Wednesday of a game week, if Darius Slay thinks that Rodney McLeod's not playing this week, either this is like the most galaxy brain way to
when
throw off.
When did people start saying galaxy brain? I mean, now every podcast I listen to, someone's saying galaxy brain and normalize. Again, these things were not in my life for the first 35 years or so, and now that's all anybody says is galaxy brain and normalize.
Normalize not saying galaxy brain.
Okay.
I do think your point
I'm not sure what are you doing? Practicing syllables with Casey, or are you a Florida Gators
I feel like
fan?
that's a normal. I feel like that's a
Okay.
that's like a tweet.
The claps
way,
in between.
like
Yeah,
the
no, that's
clap.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
on a grander scale.
I liked it. Yeah.
And Marissa would have more insight on this than any of us. But it's always worth mentioning that like players know less, or like I don't want to say care less, but often know less about like the transactional element of stuff than fans or the media does. They oftentimes like they are the last to know sometimes if a player got traded or a player got picked up or a player got hurt somewhere else. They're not searching or scanning Twitter. Now that's not all players, obviously.
Right. This was not like Miles Sanders
talking about to marry the man, and you're just putting all 1,500 of these guys in a basket. They don't know what the hell's going on. These guys go to work, they lift a couple weights, they go to a meeting, they come home, they eat, and they're back. These meatheads, you think they even know what's going on with their teammates?
They're not cleaning up the dishes.
They're taking all the big mugs out of the cabinet and
They're using the big mugs. They're drinking the coffee, and they're not cleaning them up. He's got no idea what kind of mess he leaves around the house.
Yeah. Laundry, forget about it. Come on.
He's doing 3 loads a day.
Now, there are some players who know the depth charts of every offensive line in the NFL as well. So it's like it might be the extremes, right?
But to your point, like this is not this is not an offensive lineman talking about Rodney McLeod. This is a guy in the secondary. So
yes, absolutely.
Pretty sure that
he knows the game plan. He knows the game plan.
So. Right. So that will be interesting. All right. Before we get a little deeper into the matchup, let's do a little two can you to quiz you guys on this Falcons roster that has a lot of Philadelphia connections.
Rundown, Zach? I mean, I don't remember this being.
This was not on the rundown. It's
always
quick. Bo is like, we have nothing to talk about here, and then we end up
5 minutes in.
It's very quick. This is to remind the listeners of all the characters involved in this game. Zach, can you name the player on the Falcons active roster who went to Penn?
Who went to Penn? Is it Copeland?
That's correct.
Okay.
Brandon Copeland. Sheil, can you name the player on the Falcons active roster who played for the Eagles?
Steven Means.
Correct.
Means business.
Zach, can you name the player on the Falcons who went to Temple?
Who went to Temple? Is it there's their center, Hennessy, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Nicely done. Sheil, can you name the player on the Eagles roster who once said FUKU to me on Twitter?
On the Falcons roster, you mean?
That's correct, yeah.
Calvin Ridley.
That's correct.
Yeah.
He said that.
He did.
Yeah.
He later deleted the tweet.
That's it. Bo has 2 big rivals. This is like the anti-Bo. I mean, this is Bo. This is basically Bo against the Falcons. Calvin Ridley.
Except that I love Dean
Hayden
Pease.
Hurst. Yeah. What if I told you Dean Pease had certain political? I mean, I don't know what his politics are, but I could make something up if we really.
I wouldn't be surprised about whatever his politics would be.
Let's move on.
Zach, can you name the player on the Falcons roster who has the same name as a baseball Hall of Famer?
That's a challenging one. For fear of making this a bad podcast, and
too
really
late for that,
about it. Is there
This is an award. This is a salute-winning podcast.
Eric Harris?
No, the answer is Lee Smith.
All right, that will make sense.
Lee Smith. They also have someone named David Wells on the practice
just
squad.
tore his ACL, our commenters are saying.
No way. Really? Oh, I've been taking him so high. And
I just drafted him.
Oh, my God.
Him.
And of course, poor Gus. Gus
huge,
was in for a big
huge
workload, big
monster.
Year.
So that guy behind him, Tyson.
I did
Williams.
take a Tyson.
Yep.
Wait,
I took him too.
Peters? Not an ACL. Come on, give me up to date.
Both of them tore ACLs?
I don't know. They're saying Marcus Peters. People are yelling Marcus Peters.
Okay, wait. So who should I pick up right now? Because
Tyson.
Yeah, Tyson Williams.
Do it quick, Marissa.
I know. before my like little snake cousins steal it.
I think my brother's watching. He's probably gonna run and pick him up in our
they're
fantasy
saying
league.
back-to-back plays. Marcus Peters tore his ACL.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my gosh! Unbelievable! Wow, they have had the.
Let's shout out to the chat for just breaking news
Yeah.
for us. I mean,
if
loyal
you're
listeners.
listening on like Sunday
What is,
morning,
like-
this isn't going to be that exciting for you, but still.
Yeah, that's true.
Wait,
Okay.
who am I getting?
Tyson Williams.
Tyson.
Okay.
Is it Tyson?
T-Y
Tyson?
apostrophe S-O-N.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other two Kenya names?
Sheil,
no.
two.
Okay.
Can you name how old Hayden Hurst is?
29.
Good guess. 28. But I think he turns 29 this season. Two. Can you name Zach?
Chat full of stone cold used men and women, as Shane says. Yeah, that's
right. Two. Can you name Zach, the player on the Falcons who is on the hook for making up for your Isaiah Simmons love?
He's on the hook for making. Wait,
Because
what do you mean by that?
he was your crush this year.
Oh, well, Kyle Pitts.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, come on.
All
Philly
right,
guy.
come on.
He's a generational
We have
player.
a lot of game stuff to get to.
Okay. The last
Some
one.
ads, or is
The
Marissa
last
still
one.
making
Last
the
one, and
pickup?
then we'll get to the ads. Two. Can you name the player on the Falcons who pitched against one of us in high school baseball?
I can do that. Yes.
You can.
Yes.
And who was it?
It was Matt Ryan.
That's
my
correct.
team
Do
played
we
against
have any idea of what Zach might have looked like back then?
Oh goodness. There are photos out there.
There we go, baby.
Oh, looking good, Zebra. I think Zebra looks great. I don't think he looks that different.
Great. Front and center, you can tell he's one of the most important players on the team.
You can tell he's like a bulldog, like it's taking me back. Like if I saw that kid on the other, other side of the field, he means business right there.
I like that. He means business. Steven means. Good segue. All right.
I mean,
let's take a little.
If there are 20 guys in that picture, there are like 19 guys who play college baseball and then me, right? So that goes to show you where I stood on that team.
How many of them got a salute today?
Well, and a good point from DFOP Ryan. Zach's been a front row guy his whole life.
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Although this year press conferences, it's hard
tougher.
to get those
It's
seats.
tougher sledding.
Yes.
Tougher sledding.
Yes.
All right. Why don't we take a little break to hear from our sponsors? We'll be back to Crow Thine Enemy with Sheil Kapadia as we all scramble to pick up Tyson Williams.
Growing up, cereal was one of the best parts of being a kid. You go with your parents to the grocery store, you pick out some cereal, you go home and eat it. But I had to give it up because I realized what I was eating as a kid was full of sugar and junk that you really should not eat. We're all trying to eat better, but healthy breakfast doesn't have to be boring. Magic Spoon has the amazing flavors you love, but without all the bad stuff. 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. Only 140 calories a serving. It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low-carb. You can build your own box of available flavors. To build your very own custom bundle are cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, blueberry, cinnamon, cookies and cream, and maple waffle. That's right, they just brought back cookies and cream and maple waffle. Those are no longer temporary flavors. Those are permanent flavors. They were so popular when I pour that maple waffle and have it for a snack in my office. The entire office smells like syrup, like I'm at a diner. It's outstanding and it tastes great as well. Here's what you do. You go to magicspoon.com/birds to grab a custom bundle of cereal and try it today. And be sure to use our promo code BIRDS at checkout to save $5 off your order. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they will refund your money. No questions asked. Remember, get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/birds and use the code BIRDS to save $5 off. Thank you to Magic Spoon for sponsoring this episode. Look, no one's perfect. Even the best baseball players strike out with the bases loaded. The best golfers sometimes 3-putt with the tournament on the line. So if you feel like you come up short in the bedroom sometimes, it's perfectly okay. But if it's bothering you, there are options. Go to GetRoman.com/BWF now. With Roman, you can get a free online evaluation and ongoing care for ED, all from the comfort and privacy of your home. A U.S. licensed healthcare professional will work with you to find the best treatment plan. If medication is appropriate, it ships to you free with 2-day shipping. The whole process is straightforward and discreet. Getting started is simple. Just go to GetRoman.com/BWF and complete an online visit. Take care of your ED without leaving home. Complete an online visit today to connect with a U.S. licensed healthcare professional and take care of it. Go to GetRoman.com/BWF now to get $15 off your first month. Look, there's a straightforward way to take care of your ED. GetRoman.com/BWF. Get started now to save $15 on your first month of treatment.
All right, welcome back to Birds with Friends.
You know, I just I'm getting some Kapadia curse stuff in different channels here, because when I did my picks against the spread today, and one of them I had was that for the Raiders game, I had this nugget that the Ravens have outscored their opponents 164-19 in week 1 over the last 4 years. They've just crushed people.
Coming off like all those preseason wins.
Yeah, and so that was the nugget that the Athletic Twitter account, when they tweeted out the thing, was the Ravens won, and the same day 2 ACL. So I'm sorry.
Tough, and a tough blow for one of the full sentence all-stars, Marcus Peters, a back-to-back honoree. So tough to see him go. Good news for Jalen Mills, potentially moving into the starting lineup. All right. Let's do a little crow that enemy. And Sheil, obviously you are our resident expert here. I read the Falcons section, reread it in the playbook before the episode, but give us a little scoop. What do we expect from the Arthur Smith offense to start with?
Well, they were terribly coached last year. I thought Dirk Cutter did a terrible job when he was the Falcons offensive coordinator. Arthur Smith, I don't think we can sort of put him in a box. If you want to look at what he did with the Titans, he was the most run-heavy play caller in the NFL, but he's, in the interviews I've heard with him this offseason, he kind of takes offense to that. He's like, dude, I had Derrick Henry on my team. That's why I ran the ball a lot. So I'm not,
I don't mean to cut you off. It's interesting because Gannon today said, well, Arthur Smith is a former offensive lineman. So in his heart of hearts, we know that he really wants to pound the rock. So certainly that around the league, that is the impression, but go ahead.
Yeah. But is he going to want to do that with Mike Davis and an offensive line that could just get, crushed by this Eagles defensive line? I don't know. Maybe he will, but we will find out. But it's it's run the ball and play action. And so that's really, it's from that, the Kyle Shanahan tree, where it feels like, half the league is running that offense right now to varying degrees. That's sort of the foundation of the Arthur Smith offense. But I mean, the thing you can't deny is that he maximized the talent he had at his disposal in Tennessee. I mean, they got Ryan Tannehill for what, a 7th round pick or whatever it was. And if you look at it just statistically, I'm not saying Tannehill is what the stats say, but I mean, he's performed as well as any other quarterback statistically over the last 2 years. So that's what you want to see from an offensive coordinator, someone who can do more with less, someone can look at a guy's strength, weaknesses, develop them, put them in position to succeed. And I think he did do that with Tennessee.
Okay. One other thing that Gannon said about Arthur Smith is that what he really respects about Arthur Smith is that all of the pre-snap motion that he does is not just sort of motion for motion's sake. It's all in service of, setting up a better look for the quarterback or just to, set something up to confuse the defense a little bit. He was like, obviously these guys went up against each other in the division over the past couple of years, but you could really tell that there's like a level of very healthy respect from Gannon to Arthur Smith. Is that fair to say, Zach?
Absolutely. And they actually they work together in Tennessee, so they have a background with each other.
There you go.
Offensive line is a real concern for them.
Starting a rookie at left guard, I believe.
Mayfield.
Mayfield.
Who's
Arthur
like
Smith's quote?
I don't know, but my quote
About
is
baptism?
he wasn't baptism by fire against Fletcher Cox and Javon Hargrave. My quote is this guy was worse than Josh Andrews apparently. So that's the expectation.
That's your quote.
So rough at left guard, right tackle Caleb McGarry has
Just
not.
okay.
I mean, Jake Matthews is a veteran at left tackle. Matt Hennessy starting for the first time at center. I think I had Matt Hennessy mocked to the Eagles, I want to say, in one of
Sounds
our
about right. Yep.
47 exercises. That
Turned
year,
out to be not a bad prediction since they ended up taking an interior offensive lineman in the second round the following year.
Okay, I'll give myself credit for that one.
Yeah.
Sure.
And Chris Lindstrom, not very good at right guard.
No. Yeah. So, I mean, they've got a lot of questions up front. If the Eagles defensive line that we saw this summer, is that's going to carry over to the regular season, then this should be a game that they dominate. On the outside, Calvin Ridley, as Bo knows, legit number one wide receiver. A lot of people predicting a big year. I've got him on a couple fantasy teams this year. He should just see a ton of targets in that offense because Julio Jones gets traded. So Ridley will be the guy.
Russell Gage and
Russell Gage.
Olamide Zacchaeus.
Yeah.
He's a Philly guy, correct? St. Joe's Prep, right?
You tell if that's
why
you're
you
the one who's going to know the answer to that, Zach.
I
Really?
believe so.
Okay. So, not a great wide receiving core, but they do have a number one guy, and it's just going to be fun to see what they do with the Kyle Pitts to start out.
Do you like a Mike Davis?
He's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say he's competent. I don't
Honest
love
question,
Mike
what do the
Davis. Why do
Eagles
you
do
love
about-
Mike Davis?
What were you going to say, Zach?
I was going to say, what do the Eagles do about covering Kyle Pitts? But you can answer.
I'm curious.
Mike Davis. I think address the Mike Davis question first.
We don't
like
need to
Mike
talk
Davis.
more about
Yeah,
that.
you already answered the Mike Davis question.
I don't know.
Okay.
What are they going to do?
I don't know what they're going to do.
Like,
There's not a good matchup guy here. Like,
there's nobody.
you would normally think like, okay, you put your nickel on him, but Avonte Maddox is he's just going to get out muscled.
And as Bo was astutely observed in practice, like Anthony Harris was getting beat on the one-on-ones by tight ends.
Anthony Harris
that's
is
not
not a
his
good one-on-one cover guy. So you would think like after that, your next choice would probably be Rodney McLeod if he was healthy, but he's not healthy.
Who are their backup corners? Could they break one of these guys out and just in a specialized Kyle
like a
Pitts
Keenan
role?
Clayton against against Peyton Manning, the Sean McDermott's gambit. Yeah, maybe Andre Shea will just
there's
come
not
in.
really McPherson small. So Malcolm Jenkins.
Yeah, it could be
You know what
Malcolm
I was
Jenkins.
thinking? What I was just thinking about? Because when you said that, I actually in my head I go Malcolm Jenkins. Oh no, wait,
Right.
because that was. And then I was thinking about. Do you remember the theory that the Eagles released Malcolm Jenkins so that they could hand over the locker room leadership to Carson Wentz?
That worked out well.
How's that one looking?
Well, I think that was more than a theory. I think that was a thought, right? And I think
Okay, well, I thought it was dumb at the time.
Good
I
job.
think it's even dumber now.
well, yeah, like how do you think that locker room went last year, right?
I think we're seeing how Carson Wentz's leadership is going in Indianapolis with half of a
Anytime
roster
there's something like
unvaccinated.
that, I'm like, give me a break. Grown men, adults, like this isn't, it never made sense to me. Anyway, all right, so I don't know. Stop bringing up old stuff, Sheil. Sean says that's right. I shouldn't bring that up.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they just put Steven Nelson on him.
Oh yeah, I think
Right?
so.
Just put Steven Nelson on him, and then you let Zach McPherson and Avonte Maddox handle the other receivers that are not Calvin Ridley.
Sure.
I don't know.
I mean, I think they're going to be playing a lot of zone anyway. So,
Right.
we're mostly talking about like third down or, those types of situations. So I don't know that it's going to be a high number of snaps that you have to play man coverage in this game. But I don't think that's a bad idea. If it's 3rd and 8, put Steven Nelson on Pitts, put Slay on Ridley, and then figure the rest out. If they're going to beat you with a Justin Gage or a Hayden Hurst or a Zacchaeus, then that's fine. I would think that makes sense.
Okay.
I like that would be a fun matchup actually, because Nelson will be feisty and
he's a physical guy.
Be scared, yeah.
Okay. And then how do you feel about this Dean Pease defense?
I like a Dean Pease. I don't know when we were talking about it. I put Dean Pease in like the Jim Schwartz category. Veteran DC who's seen it all and is going to get the most out of the players available to him, is not going to get the pub of like a Vic Fangio or a Todd Bowles or a Mike Zimmer, but, knows what he's doing. And it's fun too. He's not like a static defensive coordinator where, hey, this is the scheme I'm going to run everywhere. So I kind of have a theory that defensive coordinators to some, the great ones to some degree need to be, I don't know if a-hole is the right word, but they don't need to be the easiest guys to get along with. Like, you don't need to keep them around for 7-8 years. They might have shorter stints. And I think he probably, if you look at his history, he's sort of been to a lot of different places. So I've never met the guy. Maybe he's a great guy. I don't know. But, he certainly hasn't stuck around. He went from New England to Baltimore to Tennessee. I think he's retired like twice. Now he's 73 and he's back with the Falcons. But I think that was a smart hire by Arthur Smith, where you just say, all right, I'm handing it over to you. I don't even need to know what's going on with the defense. And so if you just look at his, and I had this in the playbook, which of course you can still get at theathletic.com/NFL playbook, or if you're a non-subscriber, theathletic.com/birds with Fred, still 50% off. People are using it. We see you guys using it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You can subscribe there. But yeah, he's had his worst defense in his last, I think, 8 years has been the 22nd ranked defense in the NFL. So even when you give him terrible talent, he's usually in that sort of mediocre range. And he's had 4 top 10 defenses in his last 8 years. So he's legit if he has some talent to work with. I would think this Falcons team falls more in the first category I mentioned, where they're not very talented and he'll have to do more with less.
Good linebackers, bad secondary. Okay, defensive line. Grady Jarrett's good, and the other guys are big question marks.
I was thinking of this for an idea, maybe like mid-season, like the all red zone channel team, like the guys who just every time they switch to their game, you're like, is this the best player in the league? And I would say Foye.
Yes. I was just about to talk about him.
Olakan.
Yep.
Oh, you helping me here?
Foyesade Olokan.
That guy, I swear, every time I was watching a Falcons game last year, he was forcing a fumble, just crushing someone behind the line of scrimmage. So he was a fun player to watch. I'm sure he wasn't doing that snap in and snap out, or he would have been like a Pro Bowler, but he definitely was capable of some splash plays.
Also,
he's going
to get the Patrick Graham treatment.
Meaning?
Oh, because he went to Yale. So he's like
that.
He's like a smart. It's like having a coach on the field when you have a guy who went to Yale on the field on defense.
They say this guy could have done anything, right?
This guy could have been a doctor.
Exactly.
This guy, he could be the future president of the United States one day.
Yes, you get that with the Ivy Leaguers.
This guy could have cured cancer, but instead, he's here making a tackle.
Look at the read on this. Yeah. Outstanding. So I think that, Grady Jarrett, outstanding defensive tackle, their best player.
By the way, if he could have cured cancer, like what a selfish decision to play football.
As Zach would say, he's got the rest of his life.
That's true. But not everybody has the time to wait.
This is just phase one. Dante Fowler was a big free agent signing before last season. I thought that was not a great signing at the time. He did not play well. He took a pay cut, but he's still back with them. I think he had a double-digit sack season playing next to Aaron Donald, as defensive ends tend to do. Deion Jones, Olakun, we mentioned the linebackers are solid. A.J. Terrell was a first-round
pick. Michael Walker, who day one of the Shrine game said that guy's a player.
Okay, thanks for that. A.J. Terrell is their number one corner. They don't have great corners elsewhere. They don't have great safeties, although Richie Grant, I think we were a pro Richie Grant podcast, right?
Ish,
a little bit older. I think he was older.
A little older, yeah.
He's got to come in and play right away. So they've got some veteran safety. So they're okay. They're mediocre.
Okay, fair enough. Anything else we need to talk about this matchup before we get to super forecasting? What do you expect? This Eagles offense.
Isn't that what super forecasting's for?
Yeah, but it's also can be a little bit more generic. I'm happy to move on to super forecasting if you want.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
Well, we need one more word from our very valued, high-paying sponsors, who are, of course, giving Marissa a little cash on the side for our athletic salute.
That is not true, but
today, many small business owners are busier than ever. Time spent searching for and interviewing candidates can take time away from managing and growing a business. That's why LinkedIn Jobs has made it easier to get to the candidates worth interviewing faster, and it's free. If you follow me, you know I just re-upped my LinkedIn account a couple months ago. Totally worth it. You create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn, jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 770 million people. Focus on candidates with the skills and experience you need. Use screening questions to get your role in front of only the most qualified people. Then use the simple tools on LinkedIn Jobs to quickly filter and prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates worth interviewing faster. Did you know every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/BWF. That's linkedin.com/BWF to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Artifact is a longtime sponsor of this show, so by now you know that it's the very best way to capture the life story of a loved one, like your mom or your grandpa. They typically do this in 3 chapters: the childhood and teenage years chapter, the coming of age chapter, and the family life and career chapter. But today, I have something new to share with you. As of this week, Artifact has drastically reduced the cost of capturing a life story. It used to cost $475 to record those 3 chapters. Now doing all 3 costs just $299. Of course, you don't have to bite off all 3 chapters at once. You can start with just a single chapter. It's totally up to you. Here's how it works. Artifact sets your loved one up with a professional interviewer, usually a moonlighting journalist who leads them through a conversation about the chapters of their life from their childhood to young adulthood to career and everything in between. Artifact then edits those conversations into a series of one-of-a-kind podcasts that you can share with family and keep for future generations to hear. Whether it's your grandfather talking about his upbringing, your mom talking about how she moved across the country for a fresh start, or a favorite uncle dishing on what your dad was really like as a kid. You know, they set me up with an Artifact to try. I set up my brother-in-law. He and his friend talked about their battles with addiction. Artifact makes it easy and a lot of fun. Here's how you get started. Go to heyartifact.com and click Get Started. Step 2, Artifact makes it super easy to book your interview on their website. And step 3, the interview lasts about a half an hour and you do it over the phone. Bottom line, Artifact is your shortcut to creating an instant family heirloom, and you don't have to take my word for it. The Wirecutter named Artifact to its list of the best gifts for families. If you use the code BIRDS, you'll save $20 on your first purchase. Get started at heyartifact.com.
I like the sound of moonlighting journalists in that ad. It sounds like it'd be fun to moonlight, right? I'd like to moonlight at something at some point.
I just during that ad break was able to go to the bathroom and come back without anyone noticing I'm gone. How about that for an accomplishment today? Could you guys see me or no?
I could see you.
Not in the bathroom, but here.
You know,
No, I could see that you got up from your chair.
You know what your name was when you were in the bathroom?
What was?
Your name.
What?
Sheil Peas. Just like Dean Peas.
Okay.
To your point, I could see how Dean Peas on a staff would get old after a while. You know. Okay. Let's get to Super Swordcasting, focused only on the events of the game on Sunday. We've all gone back to our standard 24 turkeys, and then these will carry over the course of the season. So, Zach, you might not want to spend any turkeys today.
Yeah, I was going to say, so if I just give you my game prediction and sign off, I get 24 next week?
That's correct. But just so we know, it is not about the season-long scoreboard is not about total bets won. It's about total weeks won. So whoever wins the most Super Swordcasting things this week will get 1 point for week 1. Do we understand?
I don't think it matters if we do or we don't. Let's get going.
I'm glad this is on video because
by the way,
that if
I don't know,
changes otherwise.
For those of you who listened to Tuesday's episode, we gave the call out to DFOB Dennis to do the graphic design of the bold and bolder predictions, and obviously he came through in a big way. So make sure you're following Dennis.
It looks like only one of the 3 of us would ever call a screen pass. All right. I was the only one taking easy money in that one. You know the expression you can't go broke making a profit, right? So on that chart, it was like all of mine were like low risk bets, and all you guys were like the high risk bets.
We're trying to be
right?
bold.
Yeah,
So
I thought he, and I thought he, since I was so bold, just crushing you guys with my boldness, I thought he threw my one as the last one in there. The 10 times saying your guys' names as the least bold prediction is outrageous. But then again, I'm giving the guy work. I think he did that at like 4:15 in the morning, and so I didn't want to push back too much.
Yeah, I had some minor quibbles too, but
you said
he's
follow Dennis, but then you didn't give out any Dennis information. I mean, how are people supposed to do that?
I mean, mostly just like look at our tweet and tweet replies.
I retweeted
it. I think it's at Dennis something, but
okay.
I pass him at Grad Hospital a lot. Always good to see him.
There you go.
Big flex.
True sicko. King of the sickos.
Big flex. Okay.
All right, let's go.
Maybe we should get a Dennis t-shirt that says King of the Sickos.
Well, there has been a lot of comments in the chat about a
Sickos
PWF Sickos t-shirt. Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Ooh, that's nice.
If there's anybody with like graphic design proclivities and you want to design a BWF Sickos t-shirt, by all means.
I like that. I'll buy one.
Yeah, and we'll obviously buy them for you. Okay, let's get to it, Marissa.
Okay, so we had a lot of duplicates week one. Sheil and Zach they had 2 duplicates. So I
all
took
the time you saw me put in there, and I did the same one as Zach.
Well, you guys all had one about Jalen Hurts rushing yards, but so I did give Bo a heads up to change it, but Sheil, I didn't see yours until after we started, so I just took some extra from the chat, and they had some good ones. So we have 5 coming from the chat instead of 3. So we will start with the Eagles sack Matt Ryan at least 4 times.
Ooh.
1.
2.
2. 3.
I'll go 4.
5.
6. Anyone? 6. Going.
I'll go 6. Yeah, I'll go 6.
6.
Who got it? Oh, okay.
Going once. Going twice. Sold to Sheil for 7.
Right. Good one.
That's a good one.
I like one of the competing sports books from the official sports book of the Athletic has lines for like which team is going to lead the league in sacks, and the Eagles are like the 14th longest favorite. I thought that those were good odds if you want to chase that one. It was plus like 2,800 or something like that.
That would be in Sheil's 32 bold predictions was that they will lead the league in sacks.
You can get some good late Shuga on that.
Yeah, this is a beat up offensive line, like you said, but to spend like 29-30% of your turkeys on that is that's a big spend.
Oh, wow. All right. Coming at me.
Taking shots.
Right.
No, it's
taking shots.
Wow. Think you know a guy. Unbelievable. All right.
Okay. This is also a duplicate. Nick Sirianni wins the challenge.
1,
2,
3.
So he has to throw a challenge and he has to win it.
You really got this one down. You got all the angles on this one.
4.
I'll go 5.
This is an iced latte with almond milk, not a smoothie for the commenters. Just letting you know.
Yeah, that'd be a tough color for a smoothie.
Doesn't it look pretty? Doesn't an iced latte in a glass like this look so pretty?
Looks nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
I like it.
But only knowing that it's a nice latte, not thinking that it's a smoothie. That would be a bad color for a smoothie.
Oh no. Yeah. Well, they do. They've tried the coffee smoothies, but I feel like no one's perfected that. I haven't had one that I like.
All you gotta do is you just make a regular smoothie, whatever smoothie you like, and you pour in a little of the cold brew that you can get at like the Trader Joe's or something.
Yeah, but it doesn't taste great to me. I mean, the tastes don't blend. A lot of people try to do the coffee with like some banana based smoothie, exactly. And I mean, I'll drink it. I don't think it's like disgusting, but I feel like there's room there for somebody. If there's an enterprise, Dennis, come up with the way. Right.
I don't need those drinks to be the same. I'd rather I like to have a coffee, whatever my coffee is.
I had two
Yeah,
coffees
the
and a
smoothie you're
smoothie
serving
today.
a different purpose. Yeah, I don't
me
need to
too.
combine
Yeah,
those
I've gone
things.
actually, I've gone 2 coffees, 2 smoothies today. How about that?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mm.
Listen, you got to get crazy. It's football season. All right, where are we?
I think we're at 5.
I think.
I don't know.
Did I think I said 5.
Yeah,
I
I
think that's
think
right.
so.
Because
And I bailed out.
Okay. So sold
All
to
right.
Bo for 5.
Yep.
Next, we have the Eagles' first play from scrimmage is either a screen to Quez Watkins or a deep shot to Jalen Rager.
I need some definition here. Deep shot. Yeah, I need air yards from the line of scrimmage.
At least 20
plus,
yards.
16 plus,
20 plus.
Okay,
But
20 or more.
I'm envisioning this as like, play action, full on
understand.
bomb.
I just
But
want to
yeah,
define.
But
All right.
we got to define. You're right. You're absolutely right.
20 or
One.
more from the line of scrimmage, a screen to Quez Watkins. All right, so a legit screen.
2 balls out with under 2 seconds.
Okay, but not like yeah. Okay, all right. I think we're fine there.
Okay. Start the betting at 1.
1. Yep. 1.
I'll say 2.
It's very specific.
It's very
Seriously.
specific.
Do I hear 3? Going once,
I'll take it.
twice, sold to Bo for 2. Okay.
We have all year to use these turkeys. 17-week season. Just warning.
Oh God. Week 6, Zach has not bid on anything.
Zach's got 143 turkeys.
All right.
He's the anti.
Jalen Hurts rushes for 100 yards. Yeah, so there's a lot of submissions in this one. You guys each submitted a rushing number, and I just went with the craziest. So I think this was Zach's 100.
This was.
Yeah,
Yep.
I said like 57 or something.
Yeah,
I said
and Bo
50.
said 50.
I actually kind of like this prop on BetMGM. I think it's in the 40s. I think it's 47 or something. I kind of like the over there on Hurts' rushing yards.
Takes 2 big runs.
Or 8 medium-sized ones. Why are you limiting him to 2?
Well, no, but I mean the 47 is like that's all it takes. He's going to run a few times, but it only takes him breaking 1 or 2 of them.
Okay.
Right.
Did somebody bid?
Yes, I bid 1.
I mean, 100 yards.
100's
That's
a
a
lot.
lot of yards.
He had 100-yard rushing game last year, right?
Okay.
Against the
I'll go.
Saints, correct.
I guess I'll go 2.
Going once,
Gonna give it to me for 2.
going twice, sold to Sheil for 2. Okay. Nick Sirianni gets a cooler of liquid dumped on his head.
1.
Cooler of liquid. Wow.
Throwback
Great
to
to go
2017.
Gatorade here, huh?
What if it was
Well-
like something else? Like, what if it was like seeds or something?
That would be an interesting story. They
I think
just
it's
dump
gotta be
seeds
cooler.
on
I
it.
think it's gotta be a cooler of liquid, as
Okay.
said in the thing. So it'll be really funny if like it's a glass of liquid that gets dumped on his head.
By the way, is this?
What about a bottle?
Not a cooler.
Nah, it's
It's
gotta
gotta be a
take
cooler.
Two grown men to.
No, it doesn't. But
All right, fine.
it's got to be a cooler.
Okay.
What were you going to say, Zach?
Does it have to be on the field?
No.
I mean, no, but where else are they going to do that?
What are you
Well,
gonna do in
maybe
the locker
like
room?
the social team releases a video in
Of the locker
room.
room.
That would
If
be
he
what a
walks out
great
to his
what a
post-game
great
press
surprise
conference.
that would be.
Yeah, we'll count that. I mean,
I
I
think that
would
counts.
question this team if they didn't have their stuff together, that they
Right.
couldn't do this on the field.
They're prepared
Wait
enough to
till they're
win
inside
one,
in the
but-
locker room, people getting showered and changed, and they're just dumping Gatorade, jug of Gatorade. I don't know that I've seen that before, especially in week 1, but yes, you will get credit for that if it's on the
Also,
team
they
plane,
have nice.
whatever.
Yeah, they have nice carpet at that stadium too. So it's you don't want to mess the carpet up. But 1.
I mean, this would be very funny, but
I
Stephen
don't think
Means
they're dumping
is on the
anything
other
on them.
sideline. So,
Ooh, what if he came over and did it?
ooh, what if he does it to Arthur Smith? We should have. It should have. I did this one. I should have said a head coach, but I will
don't
let
want
Zach
this
have
one.
it for 1.
Okay.
I should
Okay.
just bid 3 for Hurts for 100 yards. That has a higher probability of this occurring. But go ahead. But anyways,
Yeah, but this one's fun to root for.
Okay. Calvin Ridley catches more than 1 touchdown.
1.
2.
3.
I'll say 4.
5.
Ooh.
How much did I bid on the Hertz one? Two. Right?
You've got 15 turkeys left.
Okay.
Going once. Going twice.
I'll say 6.
Ooh.
Okay.
Anyone want 7?
I'm out. Too rich for my blood.
All right. Zach?
Resource allocation.
Sold to Bo for 6.
Resource allocation.
Okay.
Halfway done.
Ryan Kerrigan plays strong side linebacker.
At any point in the game, not like starts, but takes a snap at strong side linebacker.
Well,
Now,
how are we going to
define
define that? Yeah.
He's standing up?
That's a tricky one.
Because sometimes they do the 3 down linemen with two edge rushers standing up.
Okay.
So standing up with 4 guys on the line of scrimmage.
Standing up with 4 down linemen.
With 4
Correct.
down linemen.
Correct.
Does that count though? I don't know. I almost feel like you got to get a coach or player confirmation for this. You know, like, hey, Ryan, we saw you in that strong side linebacker role. And then either he says, yeah, or he says, well, actually, no, that wasn't what it was. Or, I feel like that should be doable at some point during the week. It doesn't have to be right away.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
1.
I was there.
I feel like strong side linebackers, like, this is a Zach thing. I feel like it's just like porn,
Wait, what?
You know it when you see
What the
it.
hell's going on here? It's like, what?
Well, no,
Strong
there's
side linebacker for Zach?
there's
Here come the bots.
Yeah, no wonder.
There's a strong. There's a strong side and there's a weak side.
I mean,
You
on the
play
day
like-
we
you're
get our
playing linebacker.
salute, and you're taking this pod. I mean, to the higher ups who are tuning in for the first time, allow me to apologize for the actions of my co-host and the direction he's taking this podcast. I was there when I think it was you, Bo, asked Gannon about Kerrigan, right? Doing that. And like, if you want to read between the lines of a defensive coordinator, he was like, we're not doing doing that.
Pair and a spare, which I do love. I do love the phrasing pair and a spare. But sounds like he's
so
the
you
spare.
got to get some type of confirmation from somebody that he wasn't.
You said 1, Zach?
1.
I don't want this one.
It's a good job by Zach locking up two things for 1 turkey apiece. Nice job.
All right, so Zach gets it
The
for
guy
1.
who takes Sayshawn Williams in the auction for $1, and then all of a sudden, boom.
Well,
He's
so
fine.
I couldn't get him in fantasy, and I just texted my cousin's husband that has him, and he said he got his advice from The Athletic, so I can't even be mad. He picked him up on his bench, and that's why he has him, so I can't even be upset about it now because he was reading something on The Athletic that told him to draft him, so there you go.
Shout out to our fantasy crew.
Yes, and everyone should listen to them before they start their players on Sunday. Okay. The game is tied at some point in the fourth quarter.
Tied.
1.
2.
Gosh, boy, you guys are awfully confident about this. It's going to be tied.
It's a realistic thing, unlike a lot of the other things in here. 4.
5.
5.
Oh, you're awfully confident, Sheil.
No, I'm just messing with you.
6.
Ooh.
Going once,
I think it's been a close game, but
going twice.
Ooh, I feel good about that one. I'll
Sold
take that.
to Bo for 6.
I mean, tied is very specific, though. It could be on like the seesaw, They could be
Of course, yeah.
score changes.
I'm hoping at least we get one like tied after the 6-point touchdown, and then someone goes ahead with it. Yeah, that counts.
I was thinking that. Yeah, I was thinking that. It's like 23-23.
That counts.
The extra point makes it
A
23.
little Bobo, but okay.
Yeah. No, that counts. That's legit. The
Okay.
scoreboard
Right.
reads tied. Yeah.
That's right.
This is a chat submission. I thought this one was interesting. The Eagles score the most points in the NFC East.
1.
This week, just for this game.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Cowboys have the Bucks.
Washington
Giants?
has the Chargers.
Okay.
And
Yep.
The Giants have the Broncos.
Broncos.
The Giants are
Ooh.
not going to score the most points. I can tell you that. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll make me look dumb.
You
1.
said 1, Zach?
Yes.
I'll say 2.
3.
4.
5.
I can't bet. I only have 5 turkeys left.
I would say they're playing the worst defense of any of the teams.
Yeah. We know what Sheil thinks of the Chargers.
I'll go 6.
Ooh. Yeah.
It could be like somebody in the game kicks the ball at some point, and Zach would think, "Oh, 6. Oh, that's a little risky."
Don't
never
let
wa-
him
like-
you know.
You never want to put too much of your budget in one place. But
I disagree. If it's coffee and smoothies, that's exactly what I'm doing.
7.
Wow.
Whoa!
Wow, Zach going 7. This is. He was going to
Sheil,
start
do I
taking
hear
his
8?
clothes off. He's
No,
feeling
I'm
so
good.
free.
I'm good.
Okay, Zach gets it.
Sold to Zach for 7.
This one I have a 25% chance. Like this can't be a zero-sum outcome. So
Well,
Yeah.
no, I think it could be like it could be under.
I don't think 0
25%.
sum means
no, but
what you
but I'm
think it
saying,
means.
By the time you listen to this, the Cowboys will have put up 37
45 points. They're going to lose 63-45.
All right. What else? we
Okay.
got?
Kyle Pitts has more
2 more.
yards than
Oh, 3
Dallas
more,
got.
sorry.
3 more. Yeah, this one and 2 more. Kyle Pitts has more yards than Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz combined.
1,
2,
3,
4,
5,
6.
Bo is out of bidding.
I'm out.
Zach?
So I've bid so
You've
far.
both got
7, 1,
you've
1.
both got 15 turkeys left.
Yeah. And how many more do we have today?
2 more
This is
after this.
2 more after this.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to get these last 2 no matter what they are. So
Sheil gets it at 6.
she'll get at 6.
Okay. All right. An Eagles linebacker will make a splash play, an interception, forced fumble, or a sack.
1,
Interception, force fumble, or sack.
Love him some LBs.
This
2.
was a chat submission.
Okay.
3,
4.
5.
I can't bid. Sheil?
Yeah, we'll go 6.
Zach, do I hear
Se-
7?
Oh, 6. Ooh.
No, he said 7, right?
No,
7.
he started to
Ooh.
say it, and then he stopped.
7.
Hey,
Okay, I'm good.
All right.
Zach for 7. And then the last one, Jalen Hurts has 20 or more completions.
20? That seems easy. Is that low?
6.
7,
8.
9.
That's it. You got it.
Oh, he doesn't
Whoa.
have. Wait, can I bid 9?
You've got 9 left. That's exactly what you have left.
Oh, so Zach can outbid me?
No, he can't. You just won it.
I can't.
He was at 8. You were at 9.
So
Oh,
Zach
so I
carries
get
over
it.
one
No. I've got
I
Nine
carry
turkeys.
over.
Zach
I
carries
carry
over 8
8
turkeys.
8 turkeys.
So we've each got 4 things. Zach has a cooler of liquid gets dumped on Nick Sirianni's head. Ryan Kerrigan plays at least 1 snap at Sam, confirmed by somebody. The Eagles score the most points in the NFC East in Week 1, and a linebacker makes a splash play, defined as interception, forced fumble, or sack.
I burned my turkeys on the penultimate one. That was a bad play.
Not necessarily. It's not that much different. And you have 8 turkeys to carry over. Sheil has the Eagles have 4 or more sacks of Matt Ryan. Jalen Hurts rushes for at least 100 yards. Kyle Pitts has more yards receiving than Ertz and Goddard combined. And Jalen Hurts has at least 20 completions and no turkeys left over. That's a pretty strong roster.
Very.
I have Nick Sirianni wins a challenge. The first play is either a screen to Quez Watkins or a deep shot to Jalen Reagor. Calvin Ridley has at least 2 touchdowns, and the game is tied at some point in the 4th quarter, and I have 5 turkeys to carry over to next week. Exciting stuff.
Oh, you have 5? I missed that. I'm putting it in our Slack channel so we can't forget.
Good. Okay, thank you. Yes, I've got 5 left. All right.
Okay.
Well, there's only one way to close this out now. It's time for the Crystal Bald Eagle for what we think is going to happen on Sunday. Sheil, you're already on the record, so we'll let you go first.
Yeah, I think that, I do think that their defensive line has a chance to really dominate. Now, Arthur Smith is no dummy. He knows that that's going to be a matchup that they're going to lose. So expect him play action, move the pocket, quick throws, maybe keep 6 or 7 guys in to protect. So I think he will do those things. But, I think the Eagles will be able to make enough plays up front to, kind of keep the Falcons in check there. Offensively, I actually think the Eagles have an advantage playing this game in week 1 rather than in week 6, where Dean Pease can look at it and say, all right, here's what they've done the first 5 weeks. I mean, I know none of it is that crazy, and a lot of offensive stuff looks the same, but at the same time, we don't know exactly what a Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni offense is going to look like. So a lot of times I think that stuff is overrated, but maybe it works a little bit in the Eagles' favor. I just think Hurts is going to be really good as a runner in this game, whether it's designed runs, zone read, scrambles. I would just be telling him, hey, you don't have to go through 3 progressions here. Like, if it's not there and you see an opening, go ahead, take off, run, and pick up yards that way. So I think he's going to be able to do that. I think it's going to be a close game. Yeah, I think it might be a fun game. I think it might be an underrated week 1 fun matchup. And I don't think I'm going to be picking the Eagles to win a lot of games this year. So, Bo, when you did the thing last podcast where you were reading their schedule coming up the next 6 weeks, I think that kind of convinced me. If I don't pick them here, I'm probably going to be picking them to get off to a really terrible start. So I think it's a coin flip game, and I will go ahead and pick the Eagles 24-23.
Ooh, tight. Very nice. Zach, what do you got?
I agree with what Sheil said there. I usually lean toward the trenches, right? Like the Eagles have a decided advantage on both sides of the ball. Hard to go against that, but the Falcons are favored in this game. They have a proven veteran quarterback. Even though there's first-year coaches on both sides, they have a coach with a little more demonstrated performance. They are playing at home. They have more talent at the skill spots. I've been going back and forth in this. I would pick the Eagles against the spread, and I would pick the over, but I would go with the Falcons to win this game slightly. So I am going Falcons 26, Eagles 24.
Okay. And then I would say, I've been thinking about like the ways in which we might be surprised by this team, like the things that we saw over the summer might turn out to not be true. The wide receiving core, for instance, has been exciting. We like Devontae Smith. Quez Watkins looks exciting. Jalen Reagor up and down, but it's a very, very young wide receiver core. It's possible that they just get snuffed out by regular season competition, but I don't think this Falcons secondary should scare Eagles fans from that perspective. I agree with what you guys have said. There's every reason to believe that they should be able to dominate this game in the trenches. The defense, we're excited about Jonathan Gannon, but as Sheil has said, maybe this is the kind of thing that takes some time to gel, to get all the parts working. I think there's every reason to expect that Calvin Ridley is going to have a big game.
Boy.
And maybe Kyle Pitts as well. I mean, Darius Slay the other day said, I had a good year last year. I just had 1.5 bad games, like the DK Metcalf game and then a half against Devontae Adams. Well, okay, like you were brought into.
Kind of true though.
It's not totally untrue.
Yeah.
I mean, he had other bad games, but those were the glaring bad games. Well, like let's see how he does now. I'm sure he's going to be seeing a lot of Calvin Ridley. We will see more zone, but I don't think that if it's 1-on-1, leave him over there, that Darius Slay is going to be able to handle Calvin Ridley. Matt Ryan's very good, but I think the Eagles are going to go down. The Devils are going to go down to Georgia looking for a soul to steal. They're going to win this game late in the fourth quarter. It's going to be tied, giving me a victory in Super Storecasting. Going to be 23-23. Late in the fourth quarter, Jalen Hurts completes a pass to Greg Ward, of all people.
I saw how happy you were with yourself when you thought of when you were like, I'm going to Greg Ward. This is going to be great.
Yeah, it's very
I'm really
exciting.
going to stun him.
for 17 yards to set up a game-winning Jake Elliott field goal. 26-23. The Eagles start the season off undefeated, setting up everybody for a very juiced Lincoln Financial Field in week 2. There you go.
Zach, you weren't with us. One of the all-time moments was when Bo predicted an Eagles win because he thought he's like with the most pandering I've ever seen. The fans are going to come out and they're going to be on fire and give this team,
And when was that?
It was the most minion move you could ever see.
And when was that, Sheil? You got to bring this full circle. That was against the Atlanta Falcons. That was the first game of the 2017 playoffs.
Okay.
So you bring it full circle, and guess what? You picked the Falcons to win that game. I think it was a good call. So I stand by that.
I made up for that one a couple weeks later, my friend.
You sure did. You sure did.
Now, Sheil, quick question.
Yeah,
you were saying
the fans were great that night. So all right, I won't make fun of you as much. All right.
Yeah,
yes,
during
Zach.
July and August, you were saying the Falcons are an underrated team, one of those teams that improved in the coach department. Maybe people are overlooking their personnel. Now that you have had a chance to kind of see their roster a bit this summer, do you still think that's the case, or do you think
I have them
when
I think they're a mediocre team, but I think it could set up for them to sneak in as like the 7th playoff team. I think I had them at 9-8. So I don't think they're a great team, but I think the things that they could do well because of coaching could make them good enough to sort of hover around 500 and maybe sneak in. And that's primarily I think their offense, the offensive line is a huge concern, but let's see how good of a coaching staff they have. Can they scheme around that? Because they do have playmakers. They have a veteran quarterback. So I guess, I feel like I've been firing off the same takes now for weeks. And so the games are about to begin. So now would not be a good time to change them. So I think they're mostly a mediocre team, but yes, if I was deciding between like them and the Cardinals and the Vikings in like Washington as the last playoff team. And I did pick the Falcons to be that team.
Other two teams in their division could be pretty bad. And as you pointed out, 1-8 in one-score games last year, something crazy. They were also very healthy, but we'll see how that balances out. All right. Well, that'll do it for this episode of Birds with Friends. We will be back Sunday night for the first regular season post-game pod of the year. Poor Marissa.
I'm excited.
Sheil will be doing his national thing, watching Sunday Night Football. Hopefully a 1:00 game means a relatively okay time.
Don't lollygag. Don't be checking Twitter and looking for snacks. Once that's availability is over, start pounding out those articles.
Don't tell me how to do my job.
Well,
great stadium.
Looking out for Marissa here. I mean, really, she's got 7 extra week for her too here. 17-week season.
18 weeks for her.
Hopefully more weeks. Hopefully we go to February. What day is the Super Bowl?
That's right.
and listen,
Cleveland and SoFi.
Marissa did not get to take it easy during the preseason because of you guys. She had to play every snap. So
has a left guard ever won the MVP of the Super Bowl? Super Bowl MVP? I feel like this could be the year. This could be the year. All right.
Well, I did. I think you missed. Sorry, last thing. I think you missed this last episode when you said, I think the Eagles could, if they're healthy, could have the best offensive line in the league. You should have seen Marissa's face.
It was a commenter in the chat.
TFOH face, if I ever seen one.
A commenter in the chat did say, "Oh, Marissa, I saw that face directed at Bo," and he said
That's funny.
It was like
yeah. You're right. Well, until he's in the starting lineup, who knows? All right, that'll do it. Thanks to everybody for watching and for listening. Maybe you save this for Sunday morning to get yourself ready for Week 1. Football is back, baby. So is the pandemic. All right. For Sheil and Zach and Marissa, I'm Bo. Thanks as always for listening. And of course, we love you.